Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Guard Your Savings podcast with Dolph Janis, the founder and insurance professional, income strategist as well, at Clear Income Strategies Group out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull, and Dolph and I are both well rested from a little bit of respite there, and we hope you all are feeling great too as we are into springtime. If you'd like to have your portfolio looked at and see if Dolph and the team can help you out, go to guardyoursavings.com, or you can dial up 704-919-0149. Schedule that 20-minute Ask Anything session. Dolph's written books, written articles, and he'd love to be talking to you. And we love, Dolph, that we are talking to you right now. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm awesome. If I was any better, Doug, I'd be you.
Well, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. No, actually, I am blessed. So I do wish that on people because it's good, feel positive, and like I said, well rested there. Well, what's been going on in your world? How have things been in the office? Or are people coming in with pitchforks, all upset about the market? Like, what's sort of been the vibe there? And
it's like a book you never want to put down. It's as simple as that. Tax season is over with for the most part, unless the filing extensions aspect of it, but the market, everybody knew was going to have something with the tariffs and this, that, and the other. It's like, hey, look, I got to wake up. I got to put my shoes on. I got to go to work. I got to take care of my business. The people that have been doing that have been doing fantastic. The ones that are waking up every morning and checking the ticker and saying, oh no, oh hey, no. Those are the ones that are stressing, and too much stress already involved in life. I mean, you can't change tomorrow and you can't change yesterday, but you can learn from yesterday to prepare for tomorrow. And that's the aspect we've been taking with people. Say, hey, look, take care of what you can take care of and let everything else fall into place and run its course. So for the most part, the positive influencers out there are doing really well. The negative and proactive influencers, not so much.
I think it's easy to kind of peg people in certain ways. And what I really appreciate about you, Dolph, is you're not just brass tacks, right? You're not just X's and O's. Like, you really bring some great life advice, so to speak, on these shows there. And we've talked a little bit about, in fact, our previous episodes, we talked about show me, don't tell me, things like that. We also talked about 4 ages to make or break your retirement. Those previous episodes on Apple, Spotify, they're on the media page at clearincomeforlife.com or guardyoursavings.com. Clicks through that. And you've got a new YouTube page up where you're sharing some of this advice too there. So, Dolph, did you ever think just a few years ago you'd be in so many multimedia spaces? It's really exploded lately.
Like I said, I was on radio for 13 years. I was a little bit on television, and I was like, that's one thing. But now with the new social media out there and there's different avenues out there, it's nice because if you think about it, Doug, every one of these social media outlets, and I'm not the hugest of social media fans for certain reasons, but for others, getting proper, correct information out there, what a better avenue to share it. I mean, all the different platforms you can go on to, from Instagram to LinkedIn to Facebook to YouTube to all this stuff. There's different ways to get your message across, and we're not in our grandmother's kitchen anymore, where you walk in and she cooks the cookies the same way every day. Every day is something different. Everything changes every single day. And that's what I would love for the last 20 plus years of being in this industry, is adapting to those changes and what comes next. I mean, I was sitting around with family the other night, and we were just joking about, God, remember back in the 80s when there was no cell phones, there was no there was no internet, there was no on the line. I mean, there was no streaming. It's like, what are we going to do today? It's like, oh, well, let's go outside and sit on the porch and talk. Oh, those were good old days. Yeah. Now you ask somebody, hey, let's go outside and sit on the porch. Well, who's bringing the music? Who's bringing the this? No.
Yeah. Do you have an outlet out there? I got to bring my charger.
Oh, I know.
Hey, I got to say, chargers are key, but yeah, it's good to unplug just a little bit, just like we both recently gotten to do on our trips. Hey, one last thing before we get to business. We got some annuities to talk about today, but just because you're a golf aficionado, were you glad to see Rory finally win the Masters? How'd you think that played out with the playoff and him blowing the 5-stroke lead, all that stuff?
He tried everything in the world to give it up, but I mean, it's perseverance. I'm very happy for him. I'm not a Rory fan by any means, but I do respect him as a player and the fact he didn't give up. And a lot of people could have, after he missed that short putt on the last hole and couldn't get up and down, and comes back and wins the tournament. And I just thought it was good for him, and very happy for him. That's all I want to say. Is I think it's all about perseverance. It's like never say never give up.
At 14 or 15 years after getting all those majors early in his career, he finally has the career Grand Slam. Rory McIlroy, congratulations there in Augusta. Well, today we're going to talk about something that probably had a bad rap back when Rory was winning his first majors earlier in his career in the late 20-aughts and 20-teens. Annuities at some point had a bad rap, and then the tide changed on those. I've even heard audio recently of Shaquille O'Neal talking about, and I'm not playing it now, but Shaquille O'Neal talking about one of the best decisions he made was actually buying an annuity, and someone had to explain to him what it was at the time. But we know you deal with these a lot, Dolph, as people try to look for ways to preserve the principal, preserve their income, but still, or preserve their nest egg, but still have income in retirement. So talk about annuities having a bad rap before and then the transformation they've since went through.
Well, everything has a beginning. I mean, things that come out and people are like, oh, it's the new thing. Let's try it and stuff. And annuities are no different. But the annuities been around since the day of dawn. I mean, they've been around forever. There's just so many different variations of them, and that's what people got complexed. And you have individual agents out there offering the wrong ones to the wrong people, which is a big negative. It's like someone's 70 years old and they need income. Why would you put them in a death benefit annuity? Or if someone that's 50-year-old that's not going to retire for 15 years, why would you put them in an income annuity? There's different scenarios for every one. And then there's the old variable annuity, which I wouldn't offer to an Ohio State fan, that has more complaints and issues with it than anything you can possibly do. And if you don't believe me, just go to FINRA, go complaints against variable annuities. Very complex, not insured, not guaranteed. And I'm not going to dwell on them because I can't offer them, but I wouldn't offer them if I was. But the tide has turned. I mean, before when we were growing up, I was talking about the 80s a few minutes ago, and not having the internet, not having anything on the line and all this cell phones and stuff. It was about the money that you had, and keeping that money and growing that money and preparing and saving. That's why the baby boomers, why do you think so many baby boomers out there are retired right now every single day and they're happy and they're comfortable? Because they focused on reality. They focused on how to save money the right way with no risk and producing income. That is what an annuity does. It takes away the risk. It can provide you, it's only one of 3 guaranteed sources of income out there, mind you, and that is an income annuity that can provide you an income for life, along with Social Security and pensions, and it gives you peace of mind. Because if you put $100,000 or $1 million in the market, and you're going to take out 6% of that money, $60,000 every year, in theory, you should have enough money to last you 20, 25 years, in theory. But if there's a couple corrections and like what happened a couple months ago and stuff and this, that, and the other, then things change. And then that 60,000 now is 50, 40, and so forth. In an annuity, you set yourself up for what you want to have, and it's a supplemental income. It's not going to make you the richest person in the world, but it's going to supplement your lifestyle and your peace of mind. That's what the difference between annuities in the past. Everybody was thinking about the variable annuity, which again got the bad rap, but then the fixed annuity came along, and then the indexed annuity came along, and then the income annuities came along. And so people are now starting to learn the complex problem of running out of money has now been taken care of, because once they learned out the proper annuity for you, guess what? That complex problem of people are living longer, Doug.
Yeah.
Medical technology is better. And people are like, oh, I'm running out of money. I have a client that's 106 living up in Jersey right now, and her annuity ran out of money 8 years ago, and they're still forking out $36,000 to her for life. And
that's incredible.
And do you think that she'd be able to survive without that money? Probably she'd be dependent on her children.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be dependent on your children and outliving your money. I mean, there's annuities out there can help you increase with inflation. And someone says, well, Dolph, annuities do not help you with inflation. I said, well, let me show you a little secret on how an annuity will help you with inflation for you risk advisors out there. Here's a little Dolph 101 Seinfeld tip for you. Let's say you want $5,000 a month in income for life. Boom. You know what it's going to take. You open an annuity, you have your $5,000. Well, Dolph, what about inflation? Well, guess what? You put $100,000 in a 4% 5-year. Right now, currently as of May 1st to 2025, we're going to have 5.5% for 5 years fixed. Inflation probably ain't going to go up much higher than 5.5%. Put $100,000 in there. There's $5,500. There's your inflation coverage cost right there. Just another way of overcoming inflation right there by putting it in a different account, earning a guaranteed rate. Or if you want to get a little bit more riskier with bonds and stuff like that, you can do it that way to offset the inflation. But the end of the day is you have, Doug, what you set up for income. Hey, I need $20,000 or I need $10,000 a month income. Where's it going to come from? Guaranteed for life? That's what an annuity does.
I mean, literally why your main website, clearincomeforlife.com, is the name, is because of that kind of strategy. So, Dolph, if somebody's hearing this and they may go, I mean, just very basically, let's get all the way, and we've talked annuities before, but who is actually paying somebody this money? So you buy an annuity, that money goes to whom, and then who is actually dispensing that payment? Is it Dolph Janis Incorporated? Like who is the annuity issuer, so to speak?
No, I'm not Herman Munster. I'm not him. I'm not going to be doing that right there. But an
I don't
annuity
even know how we got to Munster, but that's great.
there's a story behind it. But going back to the original question and
Yes.
changing things around,
Who pays an annuity?
is an annuity is owned by an insurance company. They're the custodian. They're the ones who have the claims paying ability to take care, guarantee, insure with them. Insurance companies all have a thing called reassurance companies, which is all their profits and all their extras they put into a reassurance company to protect the household name. So you have two different levels of protection, and then you have the third level of protection, which is the National Organizational Life and Health Guarantee Association. Yes, that's a mouthful. That's like the FDIC for insurance companies.
Okay.
But when you're opening an annuity, I mean, an insurance company is going to be the custodian holding it. Kind of like you go to a broker, and I'm just going to use a popular one like Fidelity.
Yeah.
Fidelity is your custodian. They're the ones managing your money. They're your money manager. The annuities company, so many different name, but I'm just going to say annuity company number ABC. They are the insurance companies. They're the ones that are going to pay you the guarantees. They're the ones going to promise or guarantee you income for life or this amount of rate for such and such long for them. And then because of the reassurance companies within the insurance companies, that's why they don't go out of business. They're so strong. They're not government regulated. It's very important to when you're doing your research about annuities, it's not a one size fits all. And that's what, again, going back to the beginning of the show, where annuities got a bad rap because somebody would say, hey, I'm going to give you a 40% bonus, Doug, if you sign up today. Yeah, 40%.
Okay.
Give me 200,000. I'm going to pop in 80,000 right away. Well, what are the terms and conditions of those 40%? That's what I want to know. Once I tell you and there is a company out there that does this, I won't mention who they are. They know who they are, but once you learn the terms and conditions, like, wait a second, I'm 72 years old. I don't want to wait till I'm 87 years old before I can start touching my money. That's no.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey, that's no good. Every one of them has the same concept within the annuity. All the annuities have the same concept. It's which ones are stronger for income at a younger age, the middle age, and an older age. Which ones are stronger for growth? Which ones have a better death benefit? Do they have long-term care coverage on them? Do they have nursing home coverage, ADL coverage? So many different intangibles. It's, like I said, do your research no matter what it is. And that's why working with an independent agent, whether it's myself preferably, of course, or someone else, is so much more beneficial because they can offer you more options than working with a captive agent.
That's a great point. As you've talked in past episodes about, and you hear all these previous episodes on a lot of them on your YouTube channel, but also on Apple and Spotify, some of the other podcatchers and the media section at guardyoursavings.com. But Dolph, that's why you've talked about before, because you're not a captive agent, you have access to a bigger buffet. All right. You're not just having to sell one type of product. You actually have a full phalanx or array of different things that people can choose from. So if they have questions about this and they want to schedule a, as you call it, ask anything session, how do they get in touch with you? And is it complimentary the first time? How does it work?
Well, first of all, I don't charge fees. I've waived fees, have fully right to charge them, but boom, I don't believe in fees. You're going to get charged a fee for something. You better darn well make sure you're getting something for the fee for what the benefit for it. But we've opened up my whole calendar. If you go to our calendly.janis.com, go to our website, Clear Income for Life or Guard Your Savings, you'll see our calendar link pops up. And we have these 20-minute sessions, whether by Zoom, whether by phone or in person. And you can ask me about anything about taxes to this, that, and the other. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to find the answer out for you. Or if you just have a few questions, or you just want to yap and get to know each other. And that's one of my favorites. So, hey, let's just get to know each other to see we're a fit. Like you and I talk, we can be a fit before a conversation, and then we can talk business later. Because there's nothing worse. I had this client walked in 3 weeks ago, and it was like a Kramer and Newman staring at each other. Or Newman and Seinfeld looking at, hello, Newman, hello, Jerry. And they just stared at each other. And it was like, can I help you with something? I don't know. And we just, we just weren't a fit. It was fine. There were two different people. Yeah. Shook hands, said, okay, take care. But you want to feel comfortable with who you're going to be with.
Especially with something as sensitive and with as much gravity as one's portfolio. So if you have any questions with Dolph and the team to learn more about annuities, something that may have left a bad taste in your mouth in the past. You can dial them up 704-919-0149 or go to guardyoursavings.com. There's a contact button top right of the page. Jump on that calendar. Nothing's going to change if you don't ask. And by the way, asking is free. My wife always says that. A question is free. Sometimes when I'm reluctant to ask for extra bread at a restaurant or something like that, hey, question is free. Well, why not? So, Dolph, we appreciate you spending your time today. Glad you're rested and relaxed. You look great. And we appreciate you getting to explain something that for a lot of people goes right over their heads. So we appreciate it.
Knowledge is power, and a failure to plan is a plan for failure. It's simple as that. But in the meantime, thanks for listening. Take care, and God bless.
Amen to that. He is Dolph Janis, founder, insurance professional, and income strategist. Yeah, we love that income at Clear Income Strategies Group. Get in touch with Dolph and the team and get at guardyoursavings.com. Thank you all for listening, and thanks to our producer, Alfred Romero.
Thanks, Al.
Alfred's a man. Getting this put together and put out the show. I'm Doug Turnbull, and we will have another episode of the Guard Your Savings podcast coming your way here shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Randall Janis, North Carolina Insurance License number 8483456. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Dolph Janis is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Dolph Janis is licensed in your state, please call 704-919-0149.